Hello everyone and welcome to the new video. Today I'm sharing my bullet journal plan with me for the month July. I've chosen Daisy theme, though that was not my first choice in the beginning, and I want to share that earlier I have planned entirely for a clouds theme. Within first setup only, I realized it was too repetitive for me and I was getting really exhausted and bored. I covered the top with a light blue color and the bottom with the sap green. All the exact colors will be mentioned in the description box. If you enjoy beginner art, craft, and like to plan a bullet journal, which includes a little bit of simple artwork, then consider subscribing to the channel. I share my art journey, craft journey with you in the most realistic way. If you're joining me from my main channel, Simply Amazing Life by Kaushiki, then welcome here. So I took almost a dark green color which looked almost like black. I mixed a lot of black in the sap green, and then I started stippling around the bottom half and at the top where the skyline and the greenery meet. So it will give an illusion that some sort of greenery is far off. And then I took a very rough old brush which has absolutely a crooked bristles, and then I started stippling with lighter green colors. I took my fine liner and tried to stipple some grasses as well, but I was really failing and going really bad with it, and you will see me progressing in this setup itself. How much practice helps, it will show in further in my video. You will see how all the daisies that I make, all the zoomed daisies that I have made will show you a lot of improvement. And this is just the first time I'm painting daisies with a zoom effect. I took a blue color, like almost like icy blue color, and made a calendar and stuck to the left side of this painting. I do not make a proper cover page. Instead I use calendar on one side and artwork all along. Then I took some stencil and just wrote July, and this is it. This is how the calendar page looks like. The next page is my content planning page, where I have chosen the top half of the page to go for again a daisy field, but in a smaller version. And usually it's really difficult to paint a strip style of painting because you need to have that kind of perspective. Later on I came back to these pages, did a lot of more shading, which I learned gradually while I was painting bigger daisies. I understood what created more depth and what created more realistic, though my paintings are still not realistic, but close to realistic looking. Then I wrote the names of my channel and stuck some again same blue paper, and on the last side I stuck a craft paper. This painting, this tiny little painting, was quite an experience. I was really getting frustrated when I started because you will see it absolutely looked crooked. Then I started seeing a lot of Google images of daisies, how the realistic flowers actually look like, then tried to study them. Still, I have not been able to understand absolutely 100%, but this worked. So even when I was layering these green colors, I took my time and did it layer by layer, and that created a lot of depth in the painting. And then in these white areas, I took some, almost with a very minuscule amount of yellow and black, I painted the petals. While my painting was drying, I decided to draw all the boxes. This is actually my meal plan page, and I use this spread a lot. Again, while the painting was drying, I was writing meals with my same stencils, and then I started shading with different shades of grey, and it added such an impact. I can assure you, I understood the meaning of investing time on your painting. So there is always a difference if you have invested 10 minutes on a painting or 10 days on a painting. This actually shows. So take your time. If you like any big artist's work, they invest a lot of time on their paintings. So whatever time you have, just give yourself the best and layer it. The more number of layers you add, the much better look it comes. This is what my experience from this painting came out to be. I started using different shades of grey, and then I stippled some green around the painting, making it look like stems. Then again I took some lighter green, added highlights on one side and shadows on the other side. So my idea was that the light is coming from the leftmost corner, and then the dark shadows were being formed on the rightmost corner. The perspective of light was also very important. Now moving on to the next page, I dampened the entire first block of the page, and this I was trying to do a bokeh effect. You will see a blurry image kind of effect I wanted to try, and it came out so beautiful. I am so happy the way it came out. I was so proud when I was able to achieve it. So what I did was I started with yellow and then moved on with a lighter green, and then at the bottom half I took some black and green mixed together. First layer was all horizontal, then I angled the brush in form of vertical and started blending all the colors in a vertical format. All the colors blended so beautifully and it was looking so pretty. Then I took my pencil and drew some circles with different angles and centers. This helped me to draw daisies in all different directions, because in a field of daisy you will never see that they all are facing in one direction. Actually, they all are facing in entirely different directions. So this will help you to create this. I found this as the most easiest way to create a perspective of that. And it's not the foolproof method, but yes, at least you get a guideline for sure. And then of course there is always the control on the bristles of the brush. I particularly liked using the fine liner as it was much convenient to use that sort of a brush. But I think then I used similar shades of yellow and orange and brown to create the center, adding lots of shades, and then different colors of green that was there on my palette. I used them to create this stem like effect, a very shadowy stem like effect. So it created very beautiful look to the painting. Then I took some white and mixed some black and minuscule amount of yellow to create this warm gray, to create shading on the petals. That gives the painting a really beautiful look, and it just brought the entire painting to life. This was my most favorite spread because the painting turned out to be so good. I wish I would have done it on a canvas. I would have definitely displayed somewhere in my home. But yes, I am very proud of the way it came out. Moving on to the next spread, this is another very favorite spread of mine. I used the bottom half of it to create again field of daisies, but few daisies as in zoomed in, and still creating a distant field perspective at the same time. You will just see in a minute. I used warm gray, the one that I was using for the shading. I had a lot of gray on my palette, so I used it for the sky and took some darker green at the bottom and also created small little bunches of green in the distant. I used different shades of green again and stippled it like grasses, and you can see the type of grass that I made on my first spread to the grasses that I've made here has changed a lot. And this is because I understood that using tip of the brush, of the most finest brush that you have, will help you create beautiful grasses. Plus, also the control of the brush is really, really important. I made lots of daisies using the brush. Uh, I didn't do a great job here, but somehow it just came together. Since it was a white color, it kind of just I winged it in some way or the other. So I created some zoomed in daisies and added lots of shading and then created the center absolutely in this similar way. I use this spread to make my gratitude page and one line a day page. I really like writing about my day in one line, the highlight of the day, and also pay my gratitude for the day. Using koi markers, I highlighted the alternate lines. Now let's move on to the last spread. Here I track habits, my work, and some of my daily rituals. And on the other side, I have created my weekly spreads. I have to admit that I was absolutely exhausted when I was doing this last spread. It was almost 2:30 a.m. in the morning when I was doing this last spread, and I just somehow wanted to finish. And again, I want to reiterate that your paintings reflect how much time and experience you have in painting. So I managed to finish this spread in less than 20-25 minutes, the entire thing. So you will see that reflection in the kind of work that I did here. But yeah, somehow it just came together. Not very happy with the spread, but yeah, it turned out okay. Earlier, I used some gouache paint to create these small little circles to write the date of the week. But eventually, you will see me using my Tombow a brush of light blue color and light green color to highlight these. So, and on the leftmost side I write about my video uploads. So on that note, if you haven't hit subscribe, consider subscribing, because I'll be posting every single week on this channel all different types of things: art, craft, Bujo setups. So you will see me doing all those in the most real and beginner friendly way. Later on, I realized there was a little bit of paint that came out, but nevertheless, it was concealed with lots of paper. Let's flip through the final setup. I am very happy that I was able to learn a lot of things during this setup of July, and I'm super proud of myself for learning and understanding the perspective of painting of highlights and where the lights come in from. So I hope you learned something today, and I'll see you in my next video. Consider subscribing and hit this like button if you have enjoyed till here. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.